Hello, folks, and welcome to Got Your Back, Short Shift Live Stream Edition. Glad you're able to join us on this Sunday night. Getting set to check in with Jason Strudwick here in just a moment. Hope you had a good weekend. Struds and I had a little road trip. Maybe we'll tell you a little bit about that. Got Your Back Short Shifts, as always, brought to you by Mid-City Construction Management. They're a locally owned family company specializing in civil construction projects for over 40 years, and they are hiring right now, currently looking for an accounts receivable billing coordinator. It's a full-time permanent job, comes with full benefits, a dynamic position, and like I said, it's a family company. Met the whole crew down there, seems like a great place to work, so you can search them on Indeed for all their job listings, or you can go to midcity.ca and you can click on careers. Mid-City Construction Management, title sponsors here on Got Your Back Short Shifts. We check in with Struddy on a Sunday night. How are you, my man?
Good, buddy. Busy weekend comes to an end.
Yeah, it was. We had a little Got Your Back road trip this weekend. It was our first one of those. It was kind of fun, hey?
Yeah, I learned something about you is that you really don't pay attention to where you're going, and your speed varied. On the way home, I clocked you at 85 kilometers an hour on the highway up to 127, and that was on an hour and 45-minute drive. So you have variable speeds, man. I give you credit. All over the straight though. You got us home safe and straight, but
I am I'm legit directionally challenged, man. Like it's bad. Like my wife, Randine. Like I have a tough time with it. I don't know why. You know how some guys Struds, it's like, which way is north? And they're like, that way.
Right.
I'm just not that guy, man. I'm really not that guy. Yeah, I know. But are you that guy at all? Like, do you?
I have a sense. Like because I was trying to. I don't like to be a backseat driver. I never. But then I could see you were like, weren't sure. I'd be like, just move over here, or we better slow down here. Like, just to try to help out. And I'm not that guy, but I sense that you. You needed it, man. I was just like, I'll drive next time. Next time. And not that I'm a great driver, but
by the way, isn't there some sort of rule about side seat driving a little bit too much? Like, are you? I don't know. Feels like.
Well, I was trying. If not, we'd still be driving home. If I didn't step in, we'd still be circling the globe.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really much I can say. I don't really have any sort of defense for myself. It's just it's kind of how I roll. And the funny thing is we had GPS on and I was still almost getting us lost, which was
scary.
Yeah. Had a great night. What's that?
It was a great time though.
Yeah, really good night. A big thanks to the Whitecourt Wolverines, had us out. They did a speakers series. The two of us, Megan Mickelson, talk about big names in the hockey world. She joined us up there. Really great group of folks. Thanks to Stacy who organized it and Jason, the whole ownership group for having us out there. Real nice event for the Whitecourt Wolverines. And good group. Lots of fun. The food was fantastic. And real nice event out there. Tons of Oiler fans out there in Whitecourt. You were out there not too long ago, Struds.
Yeah, I went out there with the Oilers for like a Whitecourt Oiler Day, and then saw a lot of the same people again. Mayor Tom and I had another chat there, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. I love it. I've got a soft spot for that place now. I've been out there a few times, and I really enjoy it. It's Whitecourt. Yeah,
real good spot. And thanks again for having us out. So we are live streaming here tonight, and I think I actually got us up on YouTube and on Twitter at the same time. So go ahead and take a couple of seconds and fire a comment into the chat. We'll try and get to the Weiss Johnson mentions as much as we can here tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the Oilers, their practice today, the upcoming road trip. We'll dig into a few different things. Also welcoming a brand new sponsor here on Got Your Back. Our good friends at Horse Racing Alberta have come on board. So we'll get to a little bit more of that coming up in our numbers segment. But a big welcome to Horse Racing Alberta. Thrilled to have them on board here on Got Your Back. Looking forward to a long and fruitful, prosperous relationship with really an iconic name here in town. Like, how many years have we been listening to sports radio and hearing the name Horse Racing Alberta?
Yeah, years. I love it. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, I need to get you to fix your shot a little bit. Like, it's your headspace, I think. Is it a little too much headspace? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. It's just,
a little better there?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me tilt this down.
Tilt that down a little bit. And
here we go.
Okay, that's a little bit better. Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Try to be even with yours.
Yeah. By the way, we're starting at 8:30 tonight because I had to sit and watch episode, I think, 4 of just a fantastic series that is on right now. Pedro Pascal.
Love it.
The video. Have you been watching it?
Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Yeah. I do. I'll be watching it tomorrow morning when I work out in the morning.
Oh, you save it for the workouts, hey?
I do. Yeah. Well, my wife's not into it, so I'll do it. But yeah, it's great. Don't tell me what happens. I'll be caught up to date by 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay. No spoilers. I'll do my best for no spoilers. By the way, somebody says here, Struddy just casually flipping off the camera. Oh, I don't know if maybe I brought you up when you didn't realize if you had the middle finger up or something.
That's putting chapstick on. I always apply it like with my middle finger. A lot of people use the pointer. I use the middle finger. I find it's more balanced.
I noticed
when I put it on, it looks like I'm giving the middle finger, but it's not.
The bird.
I'm not a subtle jab at anybody.
You also like you get a lot of your upper lip area. Like it's almost greasy right to under your nose. It's like a 6-year-old putting on chapstick.
That's right. That's why my lips are amazing. I have some nice qualities. Amongst the top of them though are my lips. Luscious and soft.
We're gonna clip that soundbite. Amongst the top of my best qualities, my lips. Okay, listen, Oilers are back. The break is over. So break is done. Time to get back to work, and that's what they did today. They got back to work at practice. Sunday, whole team was out there. Everybody was good to go. Struds, what's it like coming off of a break where everybody's taking some time, everybody's gone their separate ways? Don't know how many workouts guys would have gotten in. So when they arrived back this morning, Jay Woodcroft had written on the board work day in the locker room, letting everybody know it was going to be a work day. But how much can 3 or 4 days of not doing a whole lot affect you when you're in game shape?
Brutal. It's brutal. Absolutely. That first skate back, it's like, I feels like I haven't skated for a year. I hate it. And I was a guy that, I went on breaks, I had a good time, but I tried to do something every day. I had to sweat for at least an hour every day. So that's a bike ride, a workout, a jog, whatever it was, right? Anything just to sweat and keep moving. And then you get on that first ice time and you felt like a dog, absolute dog. But the good news is it comes back quick, right? Because you mentioned they're already in really good shape. 3 or 4 days is not going to kill you, but it does slow you down. So it'll be a tough skate today. Tomorrow they'll feel way better. And then I'm guessing they have a morning skate and Tuesday in Detroit again. So you have 3 skates prior to your first game. And then you play that game. By the time you get back Wednesday, you're 100% normal.
Yeah, didn't make it down to the skate today, but from some reporting out there, the whole group was out there except for Matthias Janmark, who was having some personal issues to attend to, so he'll be joining the team in Detroit. Let's go to the Weiss Johnson soundbox for the first time here. Here's Jay Woodcroft talking about the workday.
We told our guys, we were up front right off the bat, we're going to get you up and down the rink today. So when they walked in and looked at the board, they knew what was coming, and I thought they did a good job. And, I think when you're up front with it, it allows them to get prepared for it before they step on the ice.
And Zach Hyman on the day.
Anytime you're on a week layoff, you want to get moving and feeling good. So it was a good 45, 50-minute practice, and have another one tomorrow, and then get ready for the game.
Worked on some shootouts towards the end of the day as well, and some different guys. Sounds like Devin Shore managed pretty well for himself in the shootouts. But those little those workouts, those practices, like those are an opportunity for guys to show the coach something. Hey, just in case, Struddy, just in case the shootout goes deep.
Yeah, it does. It does, but for the guys also that maybe on in out of the lineup, like today's the day to make a statement for yourself, right? Like if Connor McDavid is not looking 100%, he's going to get his ice time, or Darnell Nurse, but for a guy who's maybe on the edge of the lineup, a Desharnais, a Devin Shore, Puljujärvi, Fogle, you want to come out, you want to impress today. You want to stand out for a good reason. Look how he's skating. Look how hard he's working. These are those moments where you try to find an edge up on your competition. And make no mistake about it, you're in competition with other people in this lineup and on this team. So it's that bottom third of the lineup where you can make a name for yourself. Like, God, we got to get this guy some ice time. We got to get him in a game.
Yeah, for sure. For Stuart Skinner, Leon Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid just back from the All-Star game. They were out on the ice today, though. Wanted to get the practice in with the group. Listen, I I watched some highlights from All-Star. I'm not going to spend too much time on All-Star. Do you want to? Anything you want to say about the game or what you saw, or just is what it is and it is what it is?
I don't know why people complain. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I choose to not watch it. My kids watch the skills. I watch a little bit of skills. I watch the highlights, a little bit of highlights of the game, but it doesn't interest me, so don't watch it. It's not for people like us. It has nothing to do with hockey. That's not hockey, in my opinion, not NHL hockey.
Yeah, tough to disagree. But for Stuart Skinner, I mean, pretty cool weekend for him. We'll go back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here again. Skinner kind of recapping the weekend that he had in a pretty cool moment along the way.
After I shot the one in, and the goalies went back, Sid tapped me on the pads. He was like, "Good job." I was like, "Thanks, Sid." It was a pretty cool moment, and it was just awesome being able to meet everybody and had a great time.
Little tap on the pads from Connor McDavid. Although it's funny, you know, when you play every day, from Sidney Crosby, sorry. But when you play every day with Connor McDavid, like, would the shine of Sidney Crosby be a little bit worn off just because you're around the guy all day, every day with your group?
I think it is different because Sidney Crosby has been here before Connor McDavid. So guys like Stu Skinner's age, they've been watching this guy since they would probably, how long has Connor been in the league? Or Sid's been in the league how long? 19 years? 18 years.
I think he's in that range, yeah.
So by the time that Stuart Skinner's hockey mind would have started processing the game, that's when Sid came on. So he would have been his idol, right? Or not his idol, but someone that, who influenced him as far as, greatness. But for Stu Skinner, this is such a good thing that he made the All-Star game. I mean, for him to be around those guys, seeing how they talk, seeing how they walk, just interact with them and feeling like he is on their level. And that is a huge thing because it's one thing to be told you should be on someone's level and you're playing well, but when you actually are on their level, confidence-wise, that's a huge thing. And it's a mental jump for a young player like Skinner. So I think this is great.
There was some news from the National Hockey League tonight, Struds. The Sharks, one second. I think I had that wrong. Yeah, the Sharks picked up a 4th-round pick from Seattle in exchange for Jacob Megna. Yeah. That one just going down a little bit ago. There had been some who'd mentioned him potentially as a fit for the Oilers. If you listen to Jason Gregor talk, and he watches that team play a lot, I'm not sure he felt that he was going to be the best fit here necessarily for the way that he had been playing. But a D-man somewhat off the board here. Some wonder if maybe that frees up Carson Soucy potentially. What do you make of this trade tonight that Seattle goes out and gets done?
Yeah, I think it is because I think he has control.
Struddy, we were having some internet issues with you there, pal. Just one second here. I'll see if I can fix this. You gotta love doing this live streaming on the fly, folks, the way it goes sometimes. And I am at the controls tonight as well, so let me see if that'll do it. That get him back? No Struds, no Struds. Okay. Well, believe it or not, we actually do have a backup plan for when this happens. And it has happened before. Struds has somewhat sketchy internet at his place. And so we are aware that this might happen the odd time. And so we'll see if we can get him on the phone. Bear with us here, folks. You gotta love live streaming.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, there you are. Just one sec. I'm going to plug you through back to the board. We're still live here. And Struddy, do you got me?
Hold on, let me check.
There you are. No. You got me on the phone, buddy. Struds, can you hear Ryan on the telephone?
I can hear you on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Just talk to me on the phone, man. We've got a brutal freeze frame of your face, and we're just gonna leave that.
Okay, perfect.
So we're just leaving you hanging to dry. If someone on the stream can let me know, make sure you're still hearing Struddy too. But yeah, that's the backup plan here on Got Your Back. We leave you hanging there with a goofy screenshot. When we lost, you were talking about Megna and Soucy and just kind of whether they would be attached and if Soucy potentially would spring loose.
Yeah, so when I look at that move, it makes me wonder because he's got another year, I believe. Megna has got another year, and he's on a much cheaper than Soucy. Yeah. So that's your replacement. Then maybe you move him out, or maybe you keep him and try to let him grow through it. I think Seattle, they if you think that Soucy can be replaced by this guy, then you go for it. But if not, you keep them because you don't want to be subtracting players out of your lineup when you're trying to win. Like they think they can win, and this Pacific Division is wide open.
Yeah, it is. And what a season it's been for them just in their second year here. They're really making a dent in things, Struddy. They've made it really interesting. Okay, we started talking about Stuart Skinner a little bit there and his return from All-Star. I do want to get to a discussion about the goaltenders here, Struds. And I think we're going to learn something from this start coming up against Detroit because both guys are rested. Both guys are ready to go. Both guys have been playing decent lately. So which one do you go with? You got Detroit, and then you got Philadelphia. I think we're going to learn something from who Jay Woodcroft starts on Tuesday because I think he's going to start the guy that he thinks is going a little bit better or wants to be. I don't know if you want to use the word starter or not, but I think he's going to start the guy that he thinks is his guy in the moment. You?
Yeah, I could see that. It's so hard because it's such a big deal whoever plays game one, right? And then people, we have markers like, coming back like from this, who's the next guy up at this situation. But then the real thing for me will be game 83, right? When you get to the playoffs, who's the starter there? But I think you can kind of read something into it. I tend to think that it'll be Skinner in the pipes on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's my gut too, buddy. I'm feeling that too a little bit here.
And I have really I've been honest. I have no idea. The goalie rotation this year has been just crazy for me, but I think it's going to be Skinner. I really do. I think that, he was just an all-star, I think there's got to be some recognition of that, that he is an all-star, right? So he's outplayed Campbell up to this point. And now I hope it's a battle. I hope that these two fight for that net like crazy because that'll be the best outcome for the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay, let's see what the folks are saying as we go back to the Weiss Johnson mentions. And by the way, Weiss Johnson has 45 years in the business. Should you need a new furnace, garage heater, air conditioner, hot water tank, any of those things service, Weiss Johnson is the place to go. And they got some awesome specials on right now as well. If you get a new furnace, air conditioner, or heat pump installed in February, you'll get $500 worth of gas cards. How good is that? And anyone who gets an estimate for a furnace, AC, or a heat pump, you will get entered into a draw for a pair of Oiler tickets. So plenty of reasons to give Weiss Johnson a call or go visit the showroom at 5803 Roper Road, 780-463-3096. So I think, Struddy, because of the way you are joining me, did you just hear the Weiss Johnson jingle? You probably can't hear the soundboard right now. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that. No, I didn't hear
that.
Jingle.
Okay, yeah, good to know. So if I play clips, you won't be able to hear them necessarily. Campbell's ready, says some stranger. That freeze frame was tough. Sorry, Struds. I've actually managed to change it now to a picture of you in a tracksuit doing some coaching. Some stranger says the All-Star was lame. Yeah, we covered that one already. Definitely was. So should we as a fan base get excited for Taves and Chychrun and Lafferty? Holy smokes, people. Keep in mind, I think the thing people need to keep in mind, Struds, the money situation is dire. Dire. They got to figure out what to do here when Yamamoto's ready to go. And even if they trade Jesse, now they've got a little bit of space to at least get Yamamoto back in. But there are going to be more moves required to bring anybody else in. So, I think they're going to try and put a dent in this thing. But I do think you got to temper expectation a little bit as far as how many moves they actually have a chance to be able to make.
Yeah, they do. Then just, the assets are required for all these moves. Because if you're moving guys out, you're going to have to pinch someone. You got to pay someone to take them. Yeah. Look at what it costs to get Cassian out the door. Can they, if they are going to move Puljujärvi, can they move him without anything being required to push him out? So I'm not sure. I feel there's a player there. I don't know if someone wants to try and pay $1.5 million for the rest of the year to find out, but maybe. But I think we have to prioritize. And there's a lot of people who want a physical bottom 6 foot player. I get that. Others want a third line center. That'd be in my count. And then the defenseman. Those are the 3 areas. So where do you go to? And then, if you can't make the perfect one in, let's say, the center, do you then pivot and do the D-man? Or if you can't do the pivot one for the D-man, do you pivot and do the center? Or do you do the winger? Is plan B, C, or D as good as plan A in any of those spots? And I'm not sure I'm ready. I guess it depends on the cost, but also depending on how much you have to move out and what that costs to move things out to bring these players in.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be tricky. Like talking to some sources in and around the team, and the money situation definitely makes it really difficult. And I think there's going to be a strong effort made to try and improve the team. But how much functionally you can actually get done given the cap situation? Like, remember all those teams that started the year with zero cap space? Like, that had literally just cut it to the dollars, to the dollar. I think the Oilers was like $27 or something like that, or maybe they were right to the dollar as well. And where that really comes back to bite you is two spots. One, where you can only have 20 or 21 guys on your roster, but the other spot that really comes back to bite you is at trade deadline time, when you just don't have a ton of space to go out and try and improve your team in the ways that you want to try and improve them. The picture I got up of you, Struds, is you and the one with you in the blue helmet and the tracksuit with the hoodie on underneath with your glove in the air. People are wanting to know, and the Weiss Johnson mentions here, you got the jeans on underneath that tracksuit. I'm pretty sure you would have that day because it looked chilly.
Yeah, pretty much anytime. Like anytime I'm not on for more than 2 hours, I throw on the jeans. It's just not worth taking them off because remember, then I'm party ready. Right after I can go for lunch with my jeans on. I'm not wearing, the old Roots sweats that I see so many coaches wear.
So Hockey Forever asks, are the rumors about McDavid and Chychrun true? Did McDavid actually start following him on social media? I have no idea. I don't look to see who Connor follows on social media. Not sure about that one. That one seems a little bit odd. Who moves out to get Yamamoto in? I think that Puljujarvi is kind of the obvious one. I mean, the other options, we talked about it before, right? Shore down in the American Hockey League, and then whether it's Janmark, you don't want to send down Darnay or Broberg or Holloway because they're all contributing in a meaningful way. So I don't necessarily see a change on that front. If there's a deal for Puljujarvi, this would be the time to pull the trigger. Okay, let's get to our new sponsor. And a segment we're going to do here called The Numbers. And that is brought to you by our new friends, our good friends at Horse Racing Alberta. The Alberta horse racing and breeding industry contributes over $300 million to Alberta's economy annually, and they employ over 5,000 hardworking Albertans. Experience some of the finest thoroughbred racing in Western Canada out at Century Mile. It's a great time. The racetrack and casino, they got live thoroughbred racing set to return in May. So a few months between now and then, get yourself ready to go. It's going to be a great season out at Century Mile. For more information and to stay up to date, go to thehorses.com. Okay, Struds, we're going to do the numbers here. We were both perusing the numbers and wanted to pick out some numbers that we felt contributed to a storyline that was meaningful. What number did you pick out today, my friend?
Number 3, and that's for our good buddy, Mr. Bouchard. I thought that he took some strides last year, especially in the playoffs, and I expect him to have a better start to the year than he has. I think that recently, along with his play and the whole team, let's just call it the last 10 games, the team has been better, and he has been improved. And I think that has obviously helped the team get better. But 3 goals, that's all he has.
Right.
And for
so
a guy
3
like
is
him,
the 3 goals, right?
3 goals. So when he only has 3 goals, and a guy that scored, everywhere he plays, he scores. And he scored, some meaningful goals and some important goals last year. I think those 3 goals, if I remember, Sean, they came over like a week period. Didn't he have 2 goals in one game, then quickly had another goal, or 1 and 2, or whatever it was?
Yeah, he bunched them up there.
Yeah, and so other than that, it's been dry. And for a guy like that, he is used to scoring goals. He needs to score goals. So I think that's affected his confidence. And I think that his play, especially the start of the year, slowed down the decor for the Oilers. So I'd like to see him get more shots through, or get more shots in the net. Obviously, score more goals. I think that would pop him up his offensively, but I think it also helped his defensive game.
Yeah, he's got the 15 assists for 18 points. But I hear you on the goal scoring front, man. And you're bang on. So he scored 3 goals in a 2-game stretch. He got 2 against the Rangers, and then he got 1 against Florida, and he has not scored a goal since. I know he's not getting a lot of top unit power play time, and that's the sugar time, and that's where you pad your stats, and you feel a little better about yourself when you get some of those power play points. But you got to be able to contribute at even strength here too. And his numbers here are, I mean, that 3 you picked was really something else. You know, I don't know. I'm going to float this out there, and this is not any information I'm hearing. This is not coming from anything other than just me trying to think a little bit outside the box on Bouchard and about the Oilers and their window. I just wonder if, you know, the money being so tight, if it doesn't need to be D-man out, D-man in, change the dynamic a little bit. Maybe if the proper guy isn't on the left side, maybe it's on the right side. And I just wonder that between Tyson Barrie and Evan Bouchard, there's a redundancy there. I think Bouchard is going to be a really good player in this league. I really do. And I don't think that trading him is necessarily a good idea unless you're getting a guy back that has contract and is going to help you for at least the next 3 playoff years, at least. So but we've been talking all year about what are you willing to move as far as futures go, and that they should be in a position where they want and are willing to move some futures. And Evan Bouchard, a lot of his brightest days are ahead, Strud. So is there a scenario, let's say it was, you know, Bouchard, and what you get in return is a different style right shot defenseman back that can play in your top 2 pairings, who isn't as offensive, but is a really good shutdown guy that changes the dynamic on the back end. And you've got him for the next 3 playoff years. And you figure out a way to make the money work. I guess what I'm saying is there any universe in which you would look at Bouchard as a potential mover, just given where the numbers are at here? You'd be selling low. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And so I'm really leery of trading good young defensemen, young defensemen with high ceilings. And I think he has a really high ceiling. So last year we saw what he was able to do in the playoffs. Now this year he hasn't been himself. I would think, and I recognize it isn't, but I'm going to say the second half of the season, like after the play, I think he's going to be a better version of himself. And then what does he look like next year? So if you go out and you move this guy and you get a player, let's say you can get him for this guy for 3 playoff runs, and that coincides with what the Oilers have going on with their 2 big guys. You know, what is this Bouchard or this guy Holloway or this guy, you know, whoever, what do they look like in 2 or 3 years? And that to me really scares me, because you could be better off in 2 or 3 years keeping a Brober and a Bouchard than you are with the trade you make. And, you know, I think Ken Holland, I really feel his program is continuous development, continuous improvement for his team. Every year getting better. And I think that hopefully with the cap jumping up this year and with some of the money coming off of dead cap space, and maybe a move or 2, they can find some cap freedom here to add another player that not solves the problem, but makes a difference. And then, you know, can McLeod step up? You mentioned to start the show. Then you get, you know, this guy Bouchard or now Skinner. Like Skinner seems to be a guy, right, that is maybe plugged a hole. Like just keep plugging holes, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, we are 1 player away. 1 player away is whatever, we're gonna go and trade for Tarasenko. Like, you know, I know he won't be afraid of it, but you know what I mean. Right. You're like, we're gonna add a massive gun to our arsenal, and we're gonna go and play. And I think that's his mode, and honestly, it's mine too. So I'd be very, very hesitant. Like, this better be a hell of a cap hit you're getting off of this guy to make it happen.
Well, the thing is you need to be standing there saying, better team today than they were yesterday. Right? You need to be able to say that in any trade you make for Evan Bouchard. It needs to make you better right now. Because right now is when your window is, and right now is when there's some redundancy with him and Tyson Barrie. I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't think that it's likely to happen. But in a year where cap space is tight and your window's open and you're trying to figure stuff out, maybe you got to think outside the box. And I wonder if those conversations have happened. They're happening here on the YouTube feed, definitely. Some real good comments here, and we appreciate your calm debate on this, folks. Michael Bruni said, Barrie is the better defenseman today. His next contract may be cheaper. Barrie will help win in the next 2 to 3 years more than Bouchard. C. Clark says, moving Bouchard to be a critical error. Has this team and fan base not learned their lessons? So C. Clark not in favor of moving a young Evan Bouchard. And honestly, I'm not either. I just think that they really need to address this blue line. I really think they do. And, you know, I think they need to think outside the box and figure out how they can make themselves a better team in this moment right here, right now. My number, 5 goals. 5 goals from Ryan McLeod in the last 9 games. He's got 6 points, 5 goals and an assist in the last 9 games played. So here's why I think this is relevant, Struds. When the season started, I had Ryan McLeod penciled in as the number 3 center on this team. Nuge can play the wing in the top 6. McLeod took a step in the playoffs. He's ready to be a number 3 center. And then he took the first half of the season and proved us wrong. That he wasn't. That his game's too inconsistent and that he can't produce at that level and that he's not ready. Until recently. It has been better recently. So 5 goals in his last 9 games, through 4 hits against the Chicago Blackhawks, which, hey, there you go. 7-1, 7-5, 7-5 in the face-off circle in his last 3 games. So he's 21-11, 65%. So in all the discussion about the need to go and get a third-line center, and I understand why it's there, is Ryan McLeod trending in a direction where if he keeps, I don't know, he's not going to get 5 goals every 9 games, but if he keeps contributing and keeps winning face-off, Struds, would you be comfortable leaning on Ryan McLeod as a third-line center if you want to play Nuge on the wing in the playoffs?
Well, we saw him do some of that, in the past, and I saw it's important, like the bigger conversation. Is it ideal this year? No, I've pointed out a guy I think Adam Henrique I'd like to have. Now, I know there's a lot of mountains that have to move to get him, but he's more down the road of what Ryan McLeod is. But, you want him to do 2 things at once. You want him to fill a hole and develop at the same time, gain experience. And let's say the Oilers go two rounds deep. Well, you'll have a young guy closing in on 30 to 40 playoff games in short order, right? In 2 years. And that's growing a ton, right? He's growing as a player, and he's getting that valuable experience. But he has to show he develops. So just like Evan Bouchard, I would expect a much better, quote unquote, second half than he did we saw from the first half for Ryan McLeod. And that's a huge part. And that is a huge gain, because now if you're coaching staff, okay, these guys have now been through 2 playoff runs, we can envision what they look like. So yes, I want to give Ryan McLeod every chance to be that guy. Now, if he's not in that spot, he's a Nugent Hopkins with Clean Costin and Janmark, then you figure out the rest of the holes after that. But maybe there's not enough other top 6 forwards to do that. But I think you got to give him every chance, because you want him to be that guy for sure next year, along with Bouchard on the back end.
What you don't want to do is end up shorthanded in the playoffs, where if you have to use Nugent Hopkins there because you didn't get anybody and because Ryan McLeod isn't cutting it, then you're thin in your top 6 on the wings and maybe you're outgunned. You don't want that. And this is an important decision for them. Much like they're looking at Philip Broberg and saying, what can you realistically depend on him for come playoff time? They're looking at Ryan McLeod, asking themselves the same thing right now. And he's a year further along, right? He was a regular contributor last year. So really interesting to watch him between now and the trade deadline and see if he can inject a level of confidence into the decision makers that, no, I got this. You can depend on me. I can play third-line center minutes, and I can play against other teams' decent players, and I can contribute and pitch in a little bit. Because if they don't have to go out and get that guy, makes a big difference. If they're targeting more like hybrid 3-4 guy that maybe is on par with McLeod, but now you're not talking about having to go out and figure out how to get Taves or O'Reilly or somebody like that. So Ryan McLeod, that number 5, definitely something to keep an eye on here in the weeks ahead. All right, that was the numbers brought to you by Horse Racing Alberta. Okay, Struds, I think that's going to wrap us up tonight, buddy. Sorry we lost your video. Can't see your shiny lips.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm going to take a look. I'm getting my best IT person on it right now.
Yeah, you have no IT people. By the way, I'm your IT person. If people don't, so right. I stopped by Strud's house to check out his setup. And let's just say there's a little bit of a spider's web of like cables and equipment, and it's a little bit messy in that office, Struds. And I'm wondering if maybe that isn't why some of the technical issues are happening. Maybe.
Maybe, but yeah, we've done. How many podcasts have we done now? We've done. Got to be close to around 100. Never had a problem before.
Yeah.
Until you've started getting your way down here. So I don't know what's going on.
That's
I know
true.
what you left a mess for me to clean up. I got to figure it out.
Right on, buddy. Have a great Sunday. We're going to drop some pods this week too, folks. Not sure exactly when, but keep her tuned. We'll do some live streams and some more podcasts. Big thanks to everybody that pitched in here on the stream. Have a great night, Struds. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
So you guys listen up.
Oh, did I cut him off? You still there? Oh, I still got you?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right, buddy. I'm going to
Okay.
hang up the phone so you are free to go. Enjoy your night.
Talk to you guys later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, that is Jason Strudwick. Okay, folks, thanks for checking us out on the live stream, YouTube and Twitter. Big thanks to our sponsors, Mid-City Construction Management, Weiss Johnson, and our newest sponsor, Horse Racing Alberta. Thrilled to have them on board. As I mentioned, we'll be dropping some pods through the week here, so keep her dialed into our Got Your Back Twitter feed, my Twitter feed. Hey, leave us a review on iTunes if you get a chance. We'd love to hear what you think about the podcast. Until we talk again, folks, have yourselves a great start to your week. Cheers.